Hi guys, it's Catharine Dockery again from Vice Ventures. Thank you so much for joining me on this little talk about how to get investors' attention. What I can say is you have to get the basics right. As an investor, I'm asked to make very high-risk decisions with the potential for either catastrophic or explosively positive consequences. And the simplest decision an investor can make anytime they're evaluating a business is just to pass immediately, right? That's the safest for them. So on that note, I'll start with a few things not to do. The few things that will definitely move my attention elsewhere and not at your pitch email. One is a lack of flexibility. If I can't collaborate with you on a pre-deal basis, it's very unlikely that it's going to happen in a post-deal basis, right? Another thing is artificial deadlines. A deal that's always closing 1 week away means that we're always passing right now. Just because at Vice Ventures, we look for people who help us do diligence, right? Because we consider our group of founders to be somewhat of a community and a family. So that's very important to us. And any form of dishonesty, like on that note, like really in any kind, like any dishonesty is a sign of the most toxic risk for an investor. As an investor, you live on information, especially in a really opaque market, and that kind of information can't be trusted. The world gets very scary incredibly quickly, right? I mean, if you have any questions about that, I would highly recommend that you chat with a Theranos investor, and I'm sure they would be very willing to tell you why. And two more things. One, being annoying is never okay. There's a very big difference between being annoying and being persistent. And I think that being annoying isn't just professional, right? You're just like lacking this whole concept of like respect from the person that you're hoping to get funding from and like growing a relationship with. Set timelines for your follow-ups and don't spam someone's network every single day, right? Like if I get a message from a founder every single day, I am very unlikely to take the meeting, right? Because I think that person is wildly disrespectful of my time, especially if they try to FaceTime me and they get my number on the internet without going through my incredible chief of staff, because that's like just one of the most irrespectful things you can do, in my opinion. So another thing is it happened, I guess, 28 years ago. So there's that. But I was incredibly irate at my parents because they somehow spelled my name incorrectly with an A. So just so you know, my name is Catharine, Catharine. But now that that mistake has been made and I've learned how to deal with it and correct everybody from my kindergarten teacher to my medical professional, now I kind of love it, right? Because now it's a zero effort way for me to screen for someone's, see if they've done their research and is paying attention to their pitch, right? I mean, it might sound like kind of high maintenance, but I'm certainly actually like, this is a big deal about me. I'm an absolutely horrible, terrible speller. And I'm potentially even worse at grammar. But if I make a mistake and to pitch one of my investors or LPs and spell their name incorrectly, I'm kicking myself for missing the easy stuff, right? Like, don't give an investor an excuse to question whether you're detailed-oriented to succeed, right? Anyway, when I started Vice Ventures, a significant portion of the early momentum was built on cold emails. I spent hundreds of emails to people I didn't know well or almost at all, to be honest. And when people cold email me, I'm always on the lookout for these sorts of skills that I developed in that process. I want people who are specifically looking for Vice Ventures, founders who are building in the Vice space, our like little universe of good companies operating in bad industries. And I want people who are specifically looking to partner with us for a reason, right? So the pitches that immediately get read, and the pitches that we immediately take are like, hey, Catherine and team, like, we've seen you done this for Recess and this for Lucy. We would love to chat with you for these reasons. We will always take a pitch like that, right? Like, even if we don't think we're going to invest in the company, and we will always help you find funding doing that. If you are just blindly blasting off of the same email form to hundreds of VCs with the same exact message, there's always a chance I'll be interested, right? If the company is good, there's potential. But there's also a natural inclination to back people who are enthusiastic to work with you specifically. Because we work so closely with our founders here at Vice Ventures, it's especially encouraging to be able to continue a conversation with the founder who's looking to collaborate in the way that we work with our partner. I mean, we call them partners, honestly, internally, we don't call them founders, but people who are looking to work with us in that way. If you're an early stage company, it's okay not to have all the answers, right? Like even at Vice Ventures, like people ask you questions about our 5-year thing, and I'm like, it's an experiment. Everything is an experiment early on, right? I'm trying to get to the best picture of your existing state and how you plan to take things in the future. Circumstances change. I mean, obviously, like who would have expected COVID to come here like November of 2018, right? But it's always encouraging to have plans and contingency plans too, right? That's what we consider and define as a founder who has the utmost intellectual honesty. And also, don't be too humble in talking about your strengths. This is the time you get to set yourself apart, right? And like sell yourself and what you believe in. I think it's incredibly important to do that. I can always tell when we've seen around I can tell you that we've seen over 500 mezcals and tequila brands in the past year alone. If you've got something that sells yourself apart, especially in mezcal tequila, which is like I would argue one of the most overpopulated or whatever category in liquor right now, you need to tell me why you're different, right? Hammer on the point on why you're the founder to do so, why your brand is better than any other mezcal or tequila brand. Like if you can make that point and you can make that sale, then I guarantee I will probably relook at the space in general, right? Like you probably would have really, really sold me. Another thing is that on that note, if you're in a crowded space, I need to hear why everyone else has ignored it or failed to address it. Anyone can produce a consultant report saying sector XYZ is going to grow 20% year over year, 2021, with no real numbers to back it, and just like some like incredible chart, right? Consultants are very good at that. But how are customers going to be educated on your new brand, right, or your new product? Is there data to suggest an addressable market exists? And why isn't there competition currently, right? Like what's going on in this field right now? That's what I'm going to want to know. Another thing that gets my attention is the endorsement of a founder we work with. Our partners at Vice Ventures play a significant role in our deal flow, and we take founder referrals incredibly seriously, like one of the most serious things we take here at Vice Ventures. And on a similar note, having a good cap table of good investors, specifically people that I like to work with and whose opinions that I respect and I find them incredibly intelligent, is a great way to signal that you're onto something good, right? If you have a lot of very smart people and generous people backing you, the probability to succeed is just way higher, right? Than if you just get like some randos who put like 5K checks in there all the time and you have no idea who they really are, right? It's not a problem because like raising money is difficult, right? Like I'm the first one to say that. I had to go through the process. It's incredibly hard. But there are some trips that could make it easier for you to do so. And being able, I can't say this more, but being able to partner with not the founder, with your investors super, super early on, right? Like being like, we want to work with you for like these purposes. Like we're super excited. Like we know that you don't have a mezcal company in the portfolio right now, right? Because you think it's overcrowded. Like here are the reasons why I'm telling you that it's actually not overcrowded. And like we are the dominant player in the space. So that's something that really, really gets our eye. And then we also take any meeting that if one of our LPs gives us the deal, we always take the meeting just because our LPs are usually smarter than I am. So they're probably looking at something that has like a great opportunity and a lot of them have already done the homework on it. So we immediately take those meetings as well. I don't think we've ever invested in any one of the businesses, to be perfectly frank. But that doesn't mean that we haven't looked at them. On that note, I would encourage any founders out there in the Vice space to hit us up either at Twitter. Our handle is @Vice_Ventures. My Instagram is @Catharine Dockery. And feel free to send us an email at info@Vice Ventures, and somebody will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.